Life is but an illusion. Xiafeng. Translated by Treasure and edited by Kayer. Illusions are phenomena that appear in dreams, fantasies, and phantasms. With further inferences, all phenomena that arise quickly, remain briefly, and then disappear equally quickly can also be thought of as illusions. Mirages are illusions, as are dreams, soap bubble patterns, and even thoughts at the end of the day or when we are bored will form them. It can be inferred that flashes and pans are illusions, a large number of cells, microbes, and fungi are illusions, many photos online are illusions, computer games are illusions, and movies and TV shows are illusions too. Dreams are illusions because the dream world lasts for a short time. If one dreams for 100 years continuously, would that be an illusion or reality? Of course, it would still be a dream because the moment that the person wakes up, the dream would disappear, so how could the dream not be an illusion? It can be concluded that no matter how long a phenomenon exists, as long as it disappears completely at some point, it too must be an illusion. Thus, it is possible to conclude that life is an illusion because even someone who lives for 100 years will eventually disappear altogether, so why would that be different? Having dreamed throughout the night, we wake up in the morning, and no matter how much we twisted and turned during our dreams, we no longer care about anything that happened in them because after all, they were fantasies, dreams, and illusions. A dream will not affect our mood or state of mind too much. Here is the question. Since we have deduced that life is an illusion, is it necessary to be sad for our twists and turns in life? Is it necessary to be anxious about things in our life? Is it necessary to struggle hard for things and hunger to reach goals? Is it necessary to make others behave according to our own wills? When the illusion of life disappears, will it not float away as a dream? When the earth we live on disappears completely in the infinite universe and all of humanity disappears as an illusion, what about a single person? To analyze and judge this question, I want to wake you from your dream to let you not be a human being, but rather a celestial being. When you wake up, will you still go into your dream to be nostalgic for something or to fight for someone in your dreams? Of course not, because it was an illusion, a fantasy. Well, life is also an illusion and a fantasy, so shall we be racked by people and things in this illusion? Of course not. Who remembers their grandparents' grandparents? Not to mention the fact that the memories of our grandparents' grandparents are already blurred even in the incomplete memories of our grandparents. Who will remember us 100 years after we die? We take for granted that we have importance in the present, but that is a complete illusion. Many great historical figures have died. They thought that they were important back then, but what about now? The earth goes on turning and humans go on reproducing. The footsteps of civilization never stop marching forward, so it is unnecessary to be too sad when people around us die because death is a normal phenomenon and everyone will die, including ourselves, so never be overly anxious, fearful, or sorry because it is all an illusion. Nobody can control your dream. Who can even control their own life? It is delusional to think that if you do something, you will get something. That is impossible. You cannot secure yourself against all risks and dangers. How can people control your life? You cannot wear shoes when you are supposed to be barefoot, and you cannot stay on the mountain when you are supposed to leave. Cold shoulders cannot be expected when you are thriving and on the way up. That every cloud has its silver lining may be forgotten in despair and adversity. Therefore, never force yourself to learn, suppress yourself to work, or force yourself to do what you dislike and which is against your own better judgment. No matter how successful you are, outstanding or a billionaire, or how glorious your family reputation has been flowing down through many generations, when you wake up, all will have been a dream. Affection and love tactics are the most difficult traps for people to escape. They are the most terrible traps in life. Ask the mortal world what love is. It drives one mad to death. Now think about it. Life is but an illusion. After waking up, everything will be nothing, so is it necessary to be bogged down on affection and love? It might actually be better to live as a beau, a dandy. What people fear most is losing what they own and are most attached to their property, their power and status, their reputation, and of course their most beloved lover. However, they are not at all necessary. What really belongs to you and cannot escape is yours, But if it is not yours, you cannot keep it. Anyway, one looks at life, it is still an illusion which can be shattered and vanish in a moment. So why make yourself suffer for it? Why not enjoy a natural and unrestrained dream? Has anyone in history been so intelligent and so powerful that they could control everything? Not one. Everyone is acting in a play. They are playing roles, following scripts. If anyone could control all things with their wisdom and power, their fortunes would be as boundless as the East China Sea, and they would live a very happy, healthy, and eternal life, forever. Have there been any? Not one. This proves that man is only a grain of sand in a sandstorm, a drop of water in the sea, and that nothing can really be controlled by anyone. So why not just follow predestined relationships and take things as they come? Life will be easier and more natural. People expend a lot of time and effort on their health and appearance, yet regardless of their daily exercise and nutritious eating habits, the sick are still sick and the short-lived still come to untimely ends. No matter how much paint and powder one applies to their face or how much plastic surgery they undergo, wrinkles still creep onto the forehead and cheeks as time passes, and signs of aging become more and more visible every day. These changes cannot be resisted, so why try to fight them when you know that you cannot? Life is too short. Fiddle with this today, fiddle with that tomorrow, and remain confused. You will still get old, fade away, and die. It is a bad deal to live in fantasies, but an even worse one is to indulge them. Do you worry? What do you worry about? You were worried when you were dreaming. What about when you woke up? My point is that there is no need to worry about anything because all of life is ultimately only a dream. There are no real scenarios because life will end. Will all the worry not be gone with the wind? Enjoy the present. Do not worry about tomorrow or the next day. Everyone's life has been predetermined by their destiny, their script. Worry is useless, so why persist with this fantasy? Waste your recreation time and ruin your relaxed mood. Your state of mind is different when you are asleep than when you are awake. Sleeping people lead befuddled lives in their dream worlds of obsession, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and fear. However, fully awake people know that all is but an illusion, so they have neither strong bliss nor intense grief, but are just pleasant, relaxed, and calm. Who are these people? Celestial beings, of course. Within the universe, everything is an illusion except for the greatest creator. People live in illusions because all lives are illusions. In this sense, illusions are reality. Illusions are stages of life. People live one dream after another and live a large number of dreams throughout their lives because lives consists of dreams. Although people live in illusions today, this is really the entirety of human life. Never expect to lead a real life without it being an illusion. Even the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, and the celestial islands continent of the Elysium world are all illusions. The differences are that those illusions are more beautiful and splendid and go on much longer. It is very clear that everything is an illusion, but most people are too stubborn, obstinate, and perverse to see them as such and are convinced that they are living in reality. When one awakens from their dreams, their soap bubbles will burst and they will say goodbye to their dream, but they will do it unwillingly and with disappointment and frustration. Knowing that life is an illusion, how does one lead a wonderful life? Whatever it is that makes you happy, joyful, free, and blessed, just do it. Follow your best judgment, have fun, then play. If something bothers you but you need to do it, make a perfunctory effort. No fun. See you later. Better yet, never see you again.
第二家园走不复古文明道路。
The second home does not take the road of reverting to ancient civilizations. Xiafeng. People have created splendid cultures and invented innumerable production tools and living products. Inventions, innovations, and scientific developments have relieved us from backward and primitive production and living modes. Except for those gifts bestowed by nature, all that we enjoy today comes from those advancements. If civilization abandons science and technology, then it would not be an advancement but a regression. The way of the greatest creator is the way of nature. Scientific inventions and technological advancements have not gone against nature, but some have been used in irrational ways. Achievements of technological inventions and progress have gone against the ways of nature in many aspects, but the fault is not theirs. Rather, it is from people's misuse out of selfishness and greed. Cutting vegetables is a natural use for a knife, but using it to cut woods or to kill people is a misuse. The problem lies not with the knife, but rather with the person who misuses it. It would be extremely illogical to blame the knife rather than to look into the false consciousness of the person who behaves irrationally. Would it be better to use toilet paper or clods of soil to wipe one's buttock? Of course, toilet paper is better, at least more hygienic. If a toilet paper manufacturer cuts a large amount of woods and then spills wastewater into rivers, it would not be the fault of the toilet paper, but that of the manufacturer who has ignored the result of wrong behavior by only pursuing economic profit. Some people are under the mistaken belief that the production and life mode of the second home will lead to a reversion to primitive conditions, but returning to nature does not include doing such things as eating raw animal flesh and drinking its blood or wearing the skins and furs of animals. Rather, it means that we should live according to the will of the greatest creator and by the principle that people need to coexist with nature harmoniously. At least we can say that people should not advance at the price of natural destruction, but according to the fundamental principle of sustainability. What we have created is a brand new civilization which will not only inherit all the positive achievements of scientific and technological development, but will also advance humanity into a more developed stage of civilization. It would not be possible for us to revert to ancient practices because although we would absorb wisdom from ancient cultures, we would not be limited by them. We would learn from their essence but would not revert to them. Our thoughts should neither be confined to ancient ones nor make us repeat the mistakes of our ancestors. Following in their footsteps, we need to initiate a new future and a new way of living which will avoid the recurring tracks of previous civilizations which have been destroyed completely. Religions should not stop progress, politics should not be short-sighted, economies should not destroy nature, and societies should not be reluctant to advance forward. The biggest crisis facing humanity is that of the soul. All others pale in comparison. When this crisis is eliminated, all others will disappear automatically. Do not define the second home by using concepts of old production and life modes, and do not assume that the second home will be the same as any other living mode in human history. We are walking on a new road which aligns completely with the will of the greatest creator rather than human will. It will bring happy, joyous, blessed, and free lives to people, and even allow them to evolve into celestials. I am the spiritual guide of humanity. I will lead people to an unprecedented, amazing future, and even take some to heaven. This is not a boast. As long as you follow me, you will experience it, step by step.
生命绿洲模式将解决人类面临的21个难题。
The mode of the new Oasis for life will solve 21 difficulties that mankind is facing. Xiefeng. June 27, 2020. Translated by Treasure and edited by Kayer. Whether we call it Utopia, New Eden Garden, Kingdom of the Greatest Creator, or Xiefeng-style communism, Life Achanuan's new mode of production and life in the new Oasis for life will solve these 21 problems that have been handed to us over thousands of years of human history. It will free women from their daily trivial chores forever. The elderly will lead their happiest lives in old age whether they have children and receive pensions or not. The phenomenon of orphans will disappear forever. All children will lead lives full of love and care and will be well educated. The phenomena of people remaining unattached and lonely will disappear forever. Domestic violence will disappear completely. The conflicts among religions and belief systems will end forever. Political parties will have no purpose, so competitions among them will disappear. All people will be able to travel throughout the world freely and without restrictions. Military expenditures will be reduced to zero because there will be no militaries. Border and land disputes between states will no longer exist. Regional and ethnic conflicts will no longer exist and peace will abound everywhere. Drug abuse and gambling will disappear completely. Official corruption will disappear completely, as officials will have neither need nor ways to corrupt. No wealth disparities will exist as everyone will have everything yet own nothing. Courts, lawyers, and legal systems will die out gradually as they will no longer be needed. Criminal activities will be reduced by 3/4 and security will be greatly enhanced. The population will stabilize without sharp increase and decrease and will be in balance with planetary resources. Atmospheric pollution as well as that in all water and on the earth will disappear. Extinction of species will end and many lost ones will return. Climatic disasters will no longer occur and distinct seasons with consistent climate will become normal. At least half of the people will sublimate into angels, bodhisattvas, celestial beings, and Buddhas. Do not take this as a joke or myth or consider it an armchair strategy. It has been the firm evidence of Lifechanuan's theories and the model of the new Oasis for life which have been existing and developing for 10 years. It is the ideal that mankind can fully realize. Whether you wish or not and believe it or not, mankind has been bound to and is entering into the Lifechanuan era. Everything is running according to procedure.
明明巧安排平凡度人生。
Life arranged ingeniously the ordinary life. Xiafeng. March 27, 2019. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Kayer. Times change, lives reincarnate with their ups and downs, and human reproduction flourishes. Time and tides annihilate emperors, generals, and ministers. Green grass invades countless palaces and pavilions. The strong disappear in an instant with their great achievements. Heroes who had once shed blood and tears are nowhere to be found. Huge amounts of wealth perish quickly like dreams, even the rich starve to death in the wilderness. In front of desolate and dilapidated empty buildings was once bumper-to-bumper traffic. The winners were frustrated. The powerful were desolate. Fires were extinguished into ashes regardless of how fierce they might have been. Overwhelming storms returned to calmness. In life, it does not matter whether you win or lose. In the world, it does not matter whether you are right or wrong, gaining or losing. Everything is destined. Everything is a constant. We suffer from our own actions. We harvest what we sow. We are responsible for our wins and losses. The greatest creator never has special mercy for anyone and never intentionally abandons anyone. Those who exploited others will be exploited. Those who hurt others will be hurt exactly the same, not more and not less. Evil rages in the guise of justice but will be contained eventually. Self-interest is cheating and bluffing in the name of public good, but it will eventually be recalled. Advantages taken will surely be lost and every extra gain will become a loss. Tao is never absent. Angels never leave. The devil never slackens. Prosperity ends in a big mess. Prosperous ages end in ruins. Lavish banquets end. That which flourishes dies. Phenomena will not last, but essence never changes. There are tens of thousands of ways to die. If one does not know how they will die or where they will be in 100 years, then what is the use of being busy? Why are you in a hurry? Clouds are rolling and unfolding. Flowers are blooming and falling. Rushing passers-by cannot hold anything. Lonely ghosts cannot find places in which to settle down. What are you fighting for? What annoys you? It is all a waste of energy, a waste of the meaning of life. Useless usage has great use. Power, status, reputation, money, real estate, and houses are all passing clouds, and the winner of them must be captured by the devil. The states of realm, virtue, quality, etiquette, gratitude, contentment, and courtesy are all the claims of life. So one will be blessed by heaven if one possesses them. The sum of all positive and negative energy of the universe is zero. If you gain something here, you will lose something there. Looking at heaven, looking at hell, looking at the world, everything is clear, joy is sorrow, gain is loss, suffering is happiness, frugality is abundance. You might be eager to get what you want, but when your desire is met, misfortune will follow. You might be eager to achieve success, but when you succeed, you will suffer from it. Virtuous individuals, please listen to me. Avoid the urban noise and return to the rural countryside. Life is like a chess game and each one is different. We cannot see it through, we cannot explore it all. Why not raise a few chickens and ducks or go to watch the full moon in a field? Pickles and steamed buns warm the stomach and ragged clothes are like honey to the heart. The chaos of the world is not without its source. Do not go back and forth hurriedly and quarreling. It is hard to tell who is right and who is wrong when all are jollifications of necks. A big fire will burn everything down. A flood will wash everything away. The pandemic came quietly, and man-made misfortunes are everywhere. Living today, we do not know tomorrow's situation. Something superfluous might cost your life, so why rush yourself and worry? The world is like an unsatisfactory tight dragnet, but everything is arranged ingeniously. Every detail is clear, not a word or act is wrong. Do not hate anyone. Do not complain about things happening in the world. Results are what matter. Find the benevolence of the divine across 3 lifetimes. Evil things in the world are made by good people and supremely good deeds are made by evil people. Good intentions always create trouble and slander waits beside honor and favor. Misery. Happiness is to be found by its side. Happiness. Misery lurks beneath it. Disaster is a blessing in disguise. It is better to cultivate in the countryside, to be an ordinary person, not to be famous, not to fight for profit, but to light the sacred lamp in your heart and watch the world change. Relying on other people, one will exhaust themselves on them, so why not rely on the Tao of the greatest creator? Everyone has a life trajectory that cannot be changed, so why bother to worry about others? Parents' suffering cannot be replaced by their children's, and the children's sins cannot be negated by their parents, let alone by others. You might think that you are doing something for the good of others, but how do you know that you are not working against Tao and disturbing their trajectories? You cannot give money to others without having money in your pockets. How can you guide others to live well if you do not live well? Depend on your own experiences and feelings and do not listen to others' moral preachings. No harm in life is greater than that which affection can do when it is deep and hurts very severely. Sentient beings are trapped in affection nets until they die in mazes of affection. If you cast your affection onto someone, then their burden will become yours. So why not direct your affection toward idyllic, green mountains and blue rivers? Attaching affection to flowers, birds, insects, and fish is more beneficial than doing so to people. How can you wash your feet while still standing in mud? How can you sever your worldly ties while still living in the world? Waves never end. Repaying debts by borrowing will keep you in debt forever. We also need to repay our debts that we borrowed from nature. The only way to eradicate debt is by giving alms formlessly. Our minds should not abide in form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or dharma, but should abide nowhere. This mind abiding nowhere is our true mind, which is nature, Buddha, angels, and celestials. Looking throughout the world, the best place for life is the new oasis for life.
审视一下自己是不是赌徒。
Check if you are a gambler. Xiefeng. May 22nd, 2020. Translated by Qin Yu and edited by Kayer. Do you gamble? Check this out. What is a gambler? It is anyone who wants to win rich rewards by betting their money, youth, future, and life on uncertain things which they self-identify as certainty. Gamblers lose everything that they begin with, including the clothes on their backs. Eventually, are there any who earn good lives by gambling? Casino dealers can do very well, but they are not really gambling because the games are all stacked in their favor, but most people who participate in gambling will lose and will end up with crushing losses. The truth is simple and clear, but people still want to gamble. All are gambling. I studied carefully and discovered the surprising phenomenon that almost everyone gambles, with marriage being the biggest gamble in life. You cannot be sure of its outcome. You can never fully understand the other person's personality, outlook, temperament, character, interests, and other factors, but you are betting your whole youth and your entire life on them. You expect to be happy, joyous, harmonious, and blessed, and expect to remain in love with each other for your lifetime. But then what happens? It is not necessary to analyze the results. The eventual result of all gambling is that the gamblers all lose. Since marriage is a big gamble, the result is of course tragic. Participating in religion and becoming a believer is also gambling. You base your destiny and future by betting on the religious rituals, ideas, practices, and beliefs that you firmly believe are correct. But is your religion the absolute truth? Almost every religion claims that theirs is the only correct belief, but this is only its own wishful thinking. Can it withstand the challenges of facts, science, logic, and spiritual perception? Regarding the three major religions, Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism, they are each contradictory in terms of life and death, so which one is right? After death, are there reincarnations or merely lying quietly and waiting unconsciously for a final judgment and possible resurrection? If you are not sure, then are you not gambling? Christianity practices monogamy, Islam allows men to have 4 wives, and Buddhists do not marry at all to become monks and nuns. Which one is consistent with the truth of the universe? It is said that there are more than 1,000 political parties in the world. No matter which one you choose to join to become a member of, you will still be doing the equivalent of gambling in a casino. Political parties are contenders for power and interest. As long as you compete and race for them, there will be winners and losers. Anything that has winners and losers is a gamble. Therefore, partisans are also gamblers. Do you have children? If your main purpose of giving birth to children is to bring glory to your ancestors and to protect and support yourself in your old age, then you are gambling, because whether your children can bring glory to your ancestors or protect and support you in your old age is unknown and produces a questionable future. Is not putting your hard work, sweat, and hope on uncertain outcomes gambling? Are you not a gambler? Do you spend time, energy, and money on interpersonal relationships? So you are gambling. Whether it is for benefit and safety or for affection and entertainment, as long as you establish special relationships with others, you are gambling. You cannot guarantee whether the special relationships you have forged will be blessings or curses, or whether you are putting yourself at risk or bringing in noble allies. Do you trade stocks, engage in venture investments, support a company financially? If any of these are yes, then you are gambling because you do not know what any of the outcomes will be. You are just taking risks and thinking wishfully about getting generous returns. You can never be sure whether the results will be counterproductive. How different are these endeavors from going into casinos with the intention of winning big money? Whether it is a battlefield, officialdom, a workplace, business, love, a family, a teaching field, or a relationship, its nature is the same as that of casinos. Once you enter any field, you are gambling. You are a gambler. As long as you invest your time, energy, physical strength, mental energy, and even your future on something that cannot be determined for its developmental direction and future results, then you are gambling and you are a gambler. Wake up now and ask yourself, what on earth are you here for? Are you here for a huge gamble? If you think gambling is fun and exciting, then play as much as you like. Anyway, everything is empty in the end, so why not enjoy it? However, if you know that emptiness is not empty, then you had better think deeply about life.